The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of Colorful Voices of Sisterhood are their own and do not represent L'Amour Media Versatility, that of any broadcast networks utilized, its advertisers, or sponsors. All content is subject to copyright and may not be reproduced in any form without prior written consent by L'Amour Media Versatility. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts and guests of Colorful Voices of Sisterhood are for general public information and entertainment purposes only.
Welcome back to Colorful Voices of Sisterhood. We are very excited today. We have our sister Naomi Thompson with us today, and we're going to be talking about dating over 50 and what it looks like with dating over 50. Now, that's going to be an interesting topic because some of us are married. And
been married for a while.
Been married for a while, 35 years of being married.
30 years for me.
You know, and so it's like, how do you do it? How do you date over 50? And people think just because you're married, you don't date. I still date my husband.
Oh, me too.
Okay. I still date my husband because my husband is important to me for us to date each other. So I don't know where the single man is. I don't know like what people are looking for when they're dating. And I also don't know, like, there's so many women say they want to date, but they're with a tribe of single women. If he got to choose, which one? Which one? And why you mad? Because you're with all these different women.
Yeah.
So if you want to date, you got to present yourself ready to date. So Naomi, tell me a little bit about yourself, how you got into this predicament. I want to talk about dating over 50.
Okay, well, hello everybody. My name is Naomi Thompson, and I've been in the community for a long time. Just kind of was having a conversation with my sister here, Fatia, about just some of the trials and tribulations that we experienced, and it was very delightful to see that, hey, I'm not the only one. There's some really significant struggles out here trying to find the perfect match for you. And so I was like, I can't be the only one. Let's create a dialogue and a safe space, for women and men to come forth and just really say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what I need. How are you navigating the dating scene, and kind of like talk solutions. Talk solutions, because, obviously what we're doing is not working. And so, I'm hoping we can create a dialogue that we can walk away with some tangible solutions as far as, what to do about our dilemma.
I want to ask you a question. You said a couple points. When you started dating, my question to you is, who are you and what do you want?
I am, a professional woman out here just really looking for a genuine, authentic connection. And I'm secure in who I am. I'm very confident. However, just like everybody else, I desire, love too. Yeah.
So you understand the professional woman, but when you become a man, because I tell people all the time, I am Tommy Barnes' wife, but I am Diana King Barnes. I have my own identity. I know what I like. And sometimes you go with different people because you don't even know what you like, what floats your boat. Because you want a man to fulfill your need, but you don't even know what you want. So how do we go about that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely got to be a self-assessment that a woman has to do and be honest with herself on, who she is, what she's looking for, so that she's able to find what she's looking for in the right spots. I'm just thinking of our community dynamics here for our viewers that aren't located here in Onslow County, but we are the youngest population in the state. So you're talking about people that are 25 and under. What's that look like for a 50-year-old that wants to date in this scene that's filled with 25-year-olds? To me, I'm thinking if I, heaven forbid, knock on wood, nothing happens to me and Johnny, but if it does, I'd be terrified to come out here in the dating world right now. Just because of our dynamics in our community. Then we got a lot of the dating apps out there now. social media, where back when we were dating, even 30 years ago, we didn't have that.
Right. Well, we had the newspaper. You could put an ad in the paper back in the day.
I forgot about that.
Paper.
I forgot about that. Okay.
Back in the day,
Yeah, absolutely.
That is right.
Yeah.
So it ain't a new thing.
Right.
It's just transferred over, you know.
Something else,
back in the day, yeah.
Yeah, and I think another big part of that is, when you're over 50, you're kind of set in your ways because you do know who you are. You do know what your deal breakers are. You do know what you can compromise on and what you will fall back from.
Yeah.
So I think in our 20s, we're just trying to find out who we are. So, we have a little bit more leeway in our 20s. But when you get our age or 50 and over, it's just like, look, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And that's not good or bad. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
So I think that dynamic plays too in trying to date in 2023 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you're thinking, as you're older and you're dating, your pool kind of shrinks at that point, because you are looking for specifics at that point. You are looking for someone, I'm thinking, who is the same intellect as you, the same goals as you, the same
Not a whole lot of kids.
no baby mama drama. We don't want no baby mama drama. But so the pool is a little bit smaller to choose from.
But you also got to understand, and I don't mean to cut you off, men of this age also have standards.
That's what I was trying to say.
Absolutely.
You can't come half driving either. Because some men at that age around here already know they're established as well.
Right.
So being set in your ways and they set in their ways,
there's a disconnect.
Because it's always a give and take.
Right. Absolutely.
Even in our marriage there's still a give and take.
Right.
I cannot spend more time with my girlfriends than I spend with my husband.
Absolutely.
I cannot spend more time at work than I do with my husband.
Right.
And when I say that, I know I have 8 to 5 or 9, but I still got to make time for my husband.
Right.
There's a certain look that it's time for me to get somewhere and sit down.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to know those codes.
Absolutely.
And then he surprised me, I surprised him.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And you always got to spend money.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know talking earlier when you talked about that compromise that couples have to take with one another, it's also important to have that supporting factor.
Yes.
Especially as professional women. As professional women, we're kind of doing stuff outside the norm.
Right.
I'm a terrible cook. I let everybody know that
Right.
Don't come to my house to eat.
I'm the juice person. Right.
Johnny is a great cook, so
Yeah,
he
so let
does
him do
that
that.
for us. So we really find that balance for us
Right.
on what works in the in our family dynamics, I should say.
Right.
But he's supportive. So if I'm out there in the community, he don't mind taking the step back and letting the spotlight shine on me. Is what I'm saying. You gotta find somebody who's able to support in what you want to do in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I thought you were going to say something. I'm sorry.
So what you were saying, the standard, okay, especially not when you are dating. What are we really looking for, right? Like what is like when you go out for a date, some people they're trying to go for next date.
Right.
Like you were talking about earlier, and no waste time. Like when you get to the age of 50, you don't want to waste time. At the same time, if you don't take time, you will not know the person.
You can't realize
Everybody sometimes you can meet great person.
Right.
And because he says something or she says something, you're missing a lot. Remember that we have different experience in life. We come from background. Everybody have a standard, but what is the most important? What is you looking for? What is your connection?
Right.
I believe that someone does not have to be the same background, the same everything about me, but we have to have the value, what we're seeing in life.
Right.
You see? And if we don't have that, I think that's what makes it harder. So people to go out for a date.
And with the culture too takes a part. And you have to understand those different cultures when you're dating as well.
Yeah.
But effective communication is key.
Yes.
Exactly.
Honesty. Because again, people really they don't want to be lie, but they don't want to be reject.
Right.
You see, if we open to the possibility people to be who they are, if they show first time, we will not accept that. because the way we want people to, we want to see them as perfect.
Right.
But the reality is, are we perfect individually in our life? So something that we have to take it for consideration.
Yes, sure.
That's what makes it really hard. It's not hard to find people.
Right.
It just makes it harder because our expectation sometimes is not real.
Right.
It's not realistic.
But on the flip side of that, I encourage people to really be able to articulate who they are and what they are and what they want. It shouldn't take somebody over 50, 6 months, 8 months, a year to figure out that this is not working. Because with effective communication and transparency, that's key. It don't take you that long.
Yes.
Because, it just don't take you that long.
Yeah, and especially as you're older, you got a lot more life experiences. You've dealt with a lot of people with different backgrounds, variations, professions that you're going to easily identify those key triggers that is not going to work for you.
Absolutely.
So, definitely don't waste the time. It's good to just, call it what it is. We'll remain friends, but that's as far as that's going to go.
And I think starting off as friends is a good way of dating. When you start out, you get a chance to know what each other is looking for. I do some grief coaching, and I have some young men that have lost their spouses. And they went on some dates with people. Well, it's hard because they still remember how their spouse did. And I'm forever telling women, if you want to date, daggone dress up. Look decent. You don't know who you're going to run into the grocery store. Why do you have hair rollers on your head? Single, if you want to date.
Yeah.
When you go out, because when I go out, I can shop my husband.
He don't know what. He don't know how you gonna show up.
When he walk out, I said, "You want long hair, short hair, in between? What you need, boo? Because I can do that."
Yeah.
But you got to. When I say that, you being transparent. Every woman should have a little black dress.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
To me, and you should do something to always keep him and you.
Right.
Because he does stuff, to me. But it's like, you knowing what you want.
Right.
So as I was talking to the gentleman, I said, it's going to be hard because you're comparing your wife. And back in those days, those wives did a lot. He's deep in his 60s.
Okay.
They did a lot. They cooked for him. They did stuff. It's a totally different breed out here now.
Yeah.
Right.
What are you willing to give up
Right.
to say you want to move forward if you want companion? He don't want to ever get married again.
Okay. And hopefully he's communicating that up front.
Right.
And being direct.
That's
because,
being truthful.
Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what you want. Just be bold enough to say that.
Right.
And be honest. Do not make someone to wait around and waste their
But
time.
again, that's
like
time.
you're giving them hope
That's
and
time.
to marry them.
Yeah.
Like you were saying earlier, this sister that she's married 10 years and
2 kids and he's still
But
confused.
what do you
But
say?
again,
I would
that's
like
her
for you to
fault.
repeat.
Okay.
That's her fault. Where's her standard?
Okay.
Everybody has that.
And I think that's
And I teach my
important.
girls that now at a
Yes.
young age. My brother, he's single. He told me it don't take a man long to know whether he wants you.
Yeah, that's true.
It don't. He
That's
don't.
a T right
He
there.
said he can play, he'll play around with something, but it don't take a man long to know what he wants. But we also can fool a man too now.
Right. Okay.
So we
I'm
gotta
good at it.
very good.
right.
Just
But you say it's important
Wait
to
till
be
you got him first.
right. You say it's important to be friends, but how are you defining friends?
Well, now me personally, my friendship ain't in the bed. My friendship is get him get in your mind.
Okay.
Because sex start here first.
Okay. Absolutely.
Now, so when you become loosey goosey, he's telling his boys. That's loosey goosey.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And you don't want to be labeled that. That's what
Right.
it comes to point on like the dating apps out there. When you're talking about the photos that the women are putting out there for the men to be looking at. They're very revealing right off the get-go.
Yeah, nothing's left to the imagination.
Nothing.
But,
So when he asks, you put it out there.
You're already out there.
Yeah.
But as
he's
a,
acting
as a
off
man,
the energy that you're providing just with that picture.
yes.
So you guys think that that's what makes it hard for men, for a woman perspective, to find decent men to date, like over 50? Because these days,
I think it makes it difficult.
Yeah, difficult. Like older men, they're looking for a younger woman.
Well,
because
Not all of them.
not all of them.
not necessarily, but if they are lonely,
Yeah.
a lot of times men relate that physical contact as comfort.
Yes.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what would make it difficult for someone who, like myself, when I'm dating, there's no way I would, provide sex on the first date.
Okay.
Or I
Well, we're in
would show
2023
up-
now. You on a slippery slope.
I
Don't
know
even
that's
wait.
right. So I
It's odd if you don't. They like what?
Yes, yes. So it's a whole totally different
Right.
dynamics out there. That's what I was
Right.
saying. I'll be scared to date right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
But I just feel that a lot of times they put a little too much out there too soon.
Yes.
Is what I feel, and it makes it difficult for the women who are established, who are confident, who don't need to do that.
Yeah,
It makes it difficult for them.
Yes.
I definitely agree.
Yeah.
So you get that a lot, like when you go out for a date, like first date. It's
Well, I get approached a lot with, hey, let's go 50-50 or,
what
you
is
know,
50-50? Like what is the 50-50?
you pay your half, I pay my half. Like, it's just so many variations, which it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It tells me a lot, about that person, maybe kind of what they've experienced. But on the flip side of that, like we were talking earlier, I understand because there are some women that do manipulate that situation, and thus, why we have this breakdown really in communication and such divisiveness. I think it's key, but I try to present myself in a fashion where you can look at me and kind of tell what kind of vibe I'm on, just by how I carry myself and my presence and what I'm wearing and how I talk. So, I'm able to, kind of divert some of that negative attention, but not all. The expectation is still there because such a low standard has been set. And so you're constantly pushing back on that low standard that has been set.
Well, have you ever thought about, and you might have, do you date yourself?
Absolutely.
That's the best feeling.
Yeah.
Because you're getting to know you,
Yeah.
taking time to
Yeah.
to know you.
I'm
When you
always,
date
y'all know
yourself.
I'm always going somewhere.
But when I say date yourself, just by yourself, going taking yourself to dinner.
Right.
I go back to my girls and the young girls I deal with. I says, I want you to fix up, I want you to dress up, put your heels on, whatever. And when you go somewhere, watch how people say stuff versus when you with flat shoes on.
Right.
There's a
Right.
whole different feeling when you put a pair of heels
Yeah,
on.
because when I had
Yes.
that dress on,
So
that
when you go-
event, oh
Yes.
my goodness, I was
You
like,
became,
wow.
you become,
Wow.
you attract people to you
Right.
based on how you feel about yourself.
And your energy.
So I have to go out,
Yeah.
go on a date by yourself. I want you to go eat by yourself.
Yeah.
What conversation, because sometimes you shut a person down just because you don't believe in what their conversation is. I'm interested in your conversation, so I'll lean in because I want to know where you're going with it
Yes.
before I shut you down.
Yes.
Right. And that's why, for me, first dates are, I'm okay with coffee or ice cream because I'm a strong communicator and I don't want any distractions. I want to be
Yes.
able to focus on the energy and the vibe that's being created on what you're saying. I don't want constant interruptions with, can I get you more tea? Can I get you that? So, for me, a good first date is coffee or a smoothie or something just so we can really interact.
And I like that. I
Yeah.
really like that because then you could do that in a morning setting. So that alleviates that expectation. Obviously, cost.
Right.
I'm throwing that out there. But if it isn't going as planned, it could be a short
Right.
Yes.
interaction. But if
Yes.
it's going good, it
Hey,
can last for hours.
Suggested part 2. I've had that too, and
Yeah.
it's real nice. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea as
Yeah.
a first date.
Yeah. To go for ice cream and
Or coffee,
Coffee.
tea. Well, I drink tea every
Well, you're still not too
Yeah.
old not to tell somebody where you're going in case something happens. 'Cause,
Right.
there's some people out there. I need to know.
Safety.
Hey, safety.
Safety.
And it's
Yeah.
funny that you mentioned that because now, that you date, I'm finding a standard where, men are like, they're shocked when you say, no, you cannot come to my house for a first date. They're like, what? Because for the last 10 people I did. And so when you talk in terms of safety, that's huge. But again, 30 years ago, people wouldn't even think to ask you that. But now it's kind of like a given. We Netflix and chilling right out the gate. And what's the problem?
Wow.
I'm just like, what? Like, I just be like, okay. Like, Who does that?
You know, I often ask and say, where's the family member that has a family member that can introduce people? Why? You know, back in the day, so-and-so introduced me to this person.
That is that's a
You
good
know?
concept. Yeah. I mean, maybe that's an avenue when we were talking about solutions earlier. Really kind of going back into our circle, because the people that we run with are indicative of who we are as people.
Exactly.
So maybe going back in our circle and saying, hey, who do you know? I like that as a solution. We'll get to that towards the end. But
there was a girl, I can't remember her name, but she did speed dating one time. I didn't go because, I'm glad I'm good. But I thought that was interesting to hear speed dating.
Yeah.
So everybody go, have a few
they elevator speech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
And it used to come on TV, something similar to that. Speed
Maybe
dating.
we should do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Maybe you guys should set it up.
yeah.
No, I'm
Maybe over.
You like, no.
I'm like, listen, I'm good for I am good for a long time.
And then that's another topic too. So if for example, say we set up a speed dating thing, what would the age group be?
Right.
I think
How far down you want to go and how far up you want to go.
I think 50 up.
Really? I think 40. You could bring in someone.
40?
Why not date
There's
someone
so much,
that's 5 years
What
younger?
is it? A man
10
is
years younger?
5 to 7 years mentally wise with a woman, like in age. There's
Age.
something about that.
That's true.
The way their
okay.
mindset is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have some women that's 50 that they act like they 30. I mean, their mindset. So
Yeah, they
those
be in the
both out.
they be in the
Yeah.
club before the 21-year-olds. Like I done seen some grandmas that clearly ain't grandma.
But at 50, I don't think the man is in the club. If he is, I believe I would leave him in the club.
Yes.
Now that would be me if I at that
And I
age.
So where are they?
Exactly.
We were
And
talking
that's
about
They're in the
that.
library.
Where are they?
They're in the grocery store. They may be at the car wash. They,
Okay.
you know,
Let me
I
take
don't
some
know.
notes.
Where
You
they
said
play
car
car.
wash. You said
I
in
don't
the
know
grocery
where
store. I done been to Home Depot. I done been to Home Depot 3 Saturdays in a row. I'm sitting here with y'all, so that ain't working.
You said Home Depot?
Yes.
But
Ain't
that's
enough.
the thing. You know, where do you find a man your age
They are
nowadays?
They are. You have to pay attention.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Sometimes
So you're always
we
on the
look too
lookout.
far. No, sometimes we are looking too far when they are really not too far from you.
That's true.
Maybe you work with so many people, you're just missing. I know you know me.
No, I'm good. I'm real good. But I mean, that's true though. I mean,
But it's true, really.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we're missing out because we take it for granted what is around us. Maybe you have friends that for a long time you don't know. Sometimes we're trying to look out, but what you need is just in front of you. Like you don't have to go too far.
okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like look, she's thinking.
Hey, that's why I'm here. I'm talking solutions, and I love different perspectives because that's how you learn and grow. Clearly what I'm doing is not working. That's why I'm sitting up here looking at y'all. So obviously I don't have all the answers, right?
But I think it would be. I think it'd be very cool to set up a speed dating.
Yeah, we should.
the fundraiser for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we got to set limits, though.
Yeah.
You know what
For
I mean?
fundraise. Yeah.
40 to
fundraise.
Yeah.
60, or 65. I don't know.
40
what's
and
the
up.
time. What's
Right.
the time? What's the age group?
Yeah, 40 and up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you also, you want to be confident. You don't want to show yourself as desperate.
Yeah.
I have one
Yeah,
brother.
that's
I have
what I
my
hear
brothers,
too.
and we are all close. Me and my husband, brother. But I love to ask. I got one single. He was like, they act desperate.
What's desperate though? Because by this,
You
I tell the
telling
term now.
everybody. If you
is
tell
thirsty.
everybody, I want to date, I want to do this right here, because it gets around. Because now you look like you're desperate.
Is that
for
what?
somebody.
Is that what thirsty means? I'm
Yes.
old, so that's what thirsty means.
Yes.
But what's the difference in
Yeah.
between? I know for me, I'm intentional. Like everything I do, there's a reason
Well,
behind
maybe
it.
that's
I'm
something that you
intentional.
might have to say.
Yeah.
Let me change this a little bit. Being so intentional about where you relax, because now you're confident in yourself,
Right.
and not just bragging on anything. But sometimes I have men pull up to the gas station. And I say, you getting ready to pay for this gas?
Oh, okay.
That's
You
what
know
I say to them.
You would be
because
surprised
I let
how
them
many
know
times at a gas station
At the gas
At
station?
the gas station. One time I had my mom in my car with me.
My husband was seat back in the car. I was like, what in the world, sir? But you know,
People have no boundaries, and that's another thing. People have no
I
boundaries.
think you got
That's
to
another
teach
thing.
them the boundaries.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what's missing is
Yeah.
boundaries. Anything goes. And that's why it makes it so tough to date, because
Makes it difficult.
anything goes, like at all. There's no incentive or motive for anybody to be monogamous or be able to focus on you, because social media has got so many images coming at you.
Well, you gotta
Somebody
shift your
texting
circle
you
then.
all the time. Yeah, I mean, somebody's texting you got a work wife, you got a work husband, you got all these different temptations. You know, to some, there's no benefit in trying to really date exclusively.
Exclusively, that's right, yeah.
And what does that mean anymore
So
with all the
what
different
will
types
happen
of
if
situations?
we don't date? What will happen? What is the worst thing that can happen
just
if you don't
die alone.
just date?
All I know.
You'd be alone.
Just die alone.
You'd be alone. Nobody wants to be alone.
Yeah,
That's the
I
worst
really
thing.
love
Worst
that.
case scenario.
Honestly, I
You
love
just
that.
die alone.
You're enjoying yourself right now, right?
I swear, like I love
No,
being.
but
right.
when your children are gone, you are going
I
to
will be gone. I will
alone.
Right.
not sit around. I promise you.
You'll be
I will come to
alone.
your house. I will come to Diana. I will come
But we
everybody.
want a man.
It's okay. I will
Right,
sit between- I
right.
will sit between-
Look, they done already threw you on the bus. They was like, we got ours. We
Okay,
good.
let me-
We don't need a third.
And that's the reality of it. You get tired of being the third wheel.
Listen,
You
but
know.
no, seriously, what will happen if we don't date? What worst thing? You be married before?
Yes,
Okay, I am.
Yeah.
This is my second. But what I'm saying, like, oh my God, the best feelings is like, whew, that's how I feel sometimes.
So you saying what happens if you don't have like a man itself? You all right?
I
Right.
am.
You all
Okay.
right?
I
Yes.
know. I understand the companionship. I
Okay.
truly believe that yes,
Right.
you should be someone that you love, care for. It doesn't have to be perfect. But
Absolutely.
the society, things that we experience, we rush so much. That's why I'm asking why. Why so important? If we don't know the importance of being with someone, we're missing a lot.
Right.
And we have the idea
Right.
of relationship,
Right.
what we see
Right.
through to other people.
Right.
Then we get into relationship. The reality is we don't have the discipline, the patience, the understanding, the wisdom, none of that. We just we like the perfect picture, how it looks like being two people together.
Yeah, but I think if you're looking for a perfect picture, you're not going to find
Not
it.
gonna get
Right.
it.
That's what
You're
most
not gonna
of
find
like
it.
we want to have date. Okay, what is the purpose
Right.
of dating? What is you want when you dating?
See, and that's what I think we need to be clear on what dating is.
Right.
So my perception of dating is getting to know someone.
Someone.
You know,
That doesn't include a physical
that doesn't
encounter.
include
Yes.
physical encounter, doesn't include promises in the future, doesn't include children down the road. It's just getting to know somebody.
Just how they move.
Just getting to know
Yeah.
somebody. That's it. So if that dating turns into a committed relationship, then that's a whole totally different thing.
Okay, do you have a conversation, an intentional conversation about how things are progressed, or you just assume that because you're doing X, Y, and Z, and because the amount of time you spend together, that it's
I
exclusive?
think there's got to be a conversation.
a conversation.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's no someone is expecting
Yeah.
something else at the end, and it's not where the other person is going.
Yeah, you
So
don't. You should
it's
not
gotta
go
be-
deep.
Yeah, it's
Right.
got to
Gotta
be.
be a
You don't have to
specific
go to
conversation.
you don't have
'Cause
to
you-
go deep. Like again, when it comes to physical things, it lasts what 20 minutes. If you can go long, listen.
I don't
Just
know
be
who
honest.
Who you been dealing with? Like that's about 15 minutes too long. No, anyway.
Okay. As long as you can go what? I will give you 60 minutes.
I hope my mom ain't watching this.
But it's like
Sorry, that was so
think
inappropriate.
about
But
it.
anyway,
You sit with someone.
I am thinking about it. That's why I'm like, no, I'm good.
Oh God.
So you said it's
But
beyond
see,
the intimacy. 'cause
Intimacy, it
yeah.
can last. What I'm just give you the show if you can go. You know, you can go longer if you can't. If you
Where
have
they-
that
where they-
physical.
Where they at?
Stamina.
Where them at?
Yeah.
Where them people at?
If they have physical capacity to go longer, you can.
But still, that's
However-
only a physical side of a
Right.
relationship. That's only one part of a relationship.
Exactly. So what I'm saying,
Very
if you
small
don't have
part.
more, if you don't have more,
Right.
it just Yeah.
But I find that just being out here in these streets, that a lot of it is through the lens of how someone was raised. Okay, some people were raised off love, and some people were raised off survival, and you can definitely tell the difference when you're interacting with them on any level.
Yeah.
So, they're handling you based on a lens that they're looking through, which is based on childhood trauma, heartbreak. They haven't healed yet. They got stuff going on that don't even have to deal with you.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot that goes into deciding on being in a relationship and how, truly how you interact with that person.
Oh, yeah. Well, now, you brought up a good point, Naomi, is a lot of families now don't have the standard, mother, father growing up watching that because, obviously divorce rates are high.
Right.
People aren't getting married anymore. There's just a lot of dynamics. Same-sex relationships are now a norm, which wasn't, 30 years ago.
Right.
So I think the dynamics have changed in that aspect. So that's why I think it's so important that communication has to be
Absolutely.
upfront. And then when do you bring those up?
Right.
Is it on the first date? Is it, or, if you're becoming friends, it's just already known? There's just so much that...
I just think it's just like with us. As we get to know each other, we learn more about each other.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think it's a process. It ain't the first date.
Right.
Me and Fatil learn, as we go on, we learn more and more about each other. So I think it's something that goes on. Because this is me, if I was a man and you came to me all right here, I'd be like, deuces.
Right.
I probably would throw with some stuff, yell it, just so I could get you out of my face. Because you came up to me wrong. Right. So take the time. That old song, Take the Time to Know Him, is a true song. Y'all remember that song?
Right.
You got to take the time to know a person.
And
because sometimes we get married for situations. Or we want to be in a relationship because I want them to take care of me. Well, what about you taking care of yourself?
Yes.
And taking care of yourself ain't always financial.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, that's just a
beyond
small portion.
I could tell you when my husband walk in that house if he's overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can. Likewise.
Right.
You
And
know?
I think another challenge with dating now is, sometimes people are confused on our roles. Now the roles have changed. It's like, some men want you to pursue them, but then what does pursue mean? So I think, a conversation about what is my role?
Yeah.
Because on one hand, you're always approached with what do you bring to the table? So when you take them to school, well, then you become, you don't need me.
Yeah.
Okay. But, on the flip side of that, it's kind of like, they wait for you to call. They wait for you to do the, arranging the plans, arranging the dates. Like, they just over here sitting, like, chilling, waiting. So I'm totally confused as far as what the roles are.
So the role, I want to address that. What is wrong with if you like someone, you pursue them? Why you have to wait for? Like,
That's
I
true.
know traditionally they say a man has to do that. Like,
Sadie
why?
Hawkins.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
So I mean, like, if you really like someone genuinely, you want to talk to
Most
them.
of the time, it's the woman really doing most of the going before anyway. If you really look at it, it's them going before.
I mean,
But sometimes I think people thinking they talking to a man, but they think it's talking to a child. There's a Bible verse I put in there. It says, when I was a child, I thought as a child.
Right.
But when I became a man, I put away childish stuff.
Right.
So sometimes you think you talking to a man, you still talking to a child. At 50.
Yeah.
At 60.
Baby.
Because when they become a man,
Baby.
they put away that childish stuff. You know?
I just think,
They
a
don't- they ain't
whole
not
grown
doing
man
that.
is some things you just don't even have to discuss when you with a whole grown man. That's just me.
But your role as a grown man is what? Because your role of looking at a grown man may be different than what I think a grown man is.
Right, and that's
You
why
know?
effective communication is so
Yes.
key, and that's what we're missing because we're in an age where we're texting, we're on Snapchat. We didn't have all this before. You actually physically had to be in somebody's presence and talk.
Yeah.
Now we're saying, oh, I wish we could take it slow, but the age we live in is not moving
There's
slow.
not, yeah. Well, and then you're looking at when you're out at a venue or something, so say I do go out with my bestie and she's single and we're actually going out on a mission. We're going to go find her a man. But when you walk around and look around, guess what they're all doing?
Yep.
Exactly.
On their
Why
phone.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I'm guilty of
I don't
that.
know, but you guys,
I'm
I don't
guilty.
feel comfortable going up to somebody if they're on their phone.
I'm
Even if
guilty
it is my
of
friend,
that.
I'll just tap them on the shoulder and say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they're
guilty of
doing.
that. Yeah.
They're focused on something
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, I think that's what really again, I don't believe in blaming technology or social media. It's individual what we do with the social media. If that person want to give you intention,
Oh yeah.
it's on and off.
Grown people do
That's
what
it.
they want to do.
On
I
and
don't care
off.
how busy you are.
Yeah.
And-
Grown people, men and women, do what they want to do.
Yes.
So, communication is only hard for somebody that's not interested in you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Then it's a
That's
struggle.
true. That's true.
Communication is a real interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think as people over 50, I think we've established communication skills well enough to
Ideally.
conversate with someone of the opposite sex.
Yeah.
So if a person is not reciprocating the conversation,
Right.
what was that show? He's just not that into you.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, truth be told, I'm finding that a lot of people are just socially inept. I mean, especially if they're 10 years younger than you, that's just kind of, they're just not comfortable with eye-to-eye contact. They don't know how to relate. That's why they're
Because
on
they're
their
on the
phone.
Yes.
You're a whole different person texting than you are with engaging somebody in person.
Exactly.
So, a lot of times I'm just finding people are just socially inept. They just don't know what to do or how to do it or how to
Yeah.
interact.
Yes.
Or that becomes overwhelming. Doesn't mean they're not
But
interested,
is that something, I guess also if you're on the dating scene, there's some stuff that are priority for you and some not. So is that something that a person is willing to overlook? Okay, I can work on the communications through our relationship. Or is it right off the bat? Oh, like to me, I love talking. So communication's got to be one of the priorities for us.
Right.
Me too.
So I think you really got to
But I
set
think
your
the other
priorities.
person, like I'm a communicator in my household. My husband is learning to communicate more. He's just not wanting to be doing all that talking.
Okay.
But his communication, as we have aged in our marriage, is getting better.
Oh,
in
good.
Communicating.
Good.
But he
So-
was always good at communicating with you, though.
Right.
It's just
Well,
other
sometimes
people.
I was like, okay, but he's very quiet, and he's very observant.
Right.
That's how John
in,
is.
in everything.
Right.
He looks at everything. He notices stuff. So and like my brother too, he's that way too. So like you were saying on the phone, he says sometimes he on that phone, but he see his whole surrounding.
Right.
So sometimes it's just that, so you don't see that I'm watching you
Yeah.
Right.
when you come in.
Yeah.
But let me ask this question: dating over 50, do you want it to lead to be a wife or just dating?
Oh, I'm glad. I was trying to ask that.
Marriage is ultimately the goal for me, absolutely. So, when people say, oh, are you dating with a purpose? Absolutely. And does that mean I'm just going to, grab the first thing that comes to me? Absolutely not. But end goal is definitely marriage for me.
So that's I think the another for woman and man. Women they want to get married. Our percent not every. What I'm saying they're scared of. So my question earlier we talked about because if you don't get married, you've been with someone. It means that you don't set your boundary or you don't have boundary. Like because people are married does not mean they are really married.
Are happy. Right.
Happy.
There's a whole lot of,
Exactly.
happy single folks
That
and
it does
unhappy married folks,
Because you sign contract, you
Right.
married, it does not make someone that commit fully because they are people married still doing things that they're not supposed to do
Right.
as single.
Right.
You see? So we like I said, individually what people want out of life, what they really want. The marriage it does not
Piece of
make
paper.
relationship perfect.
Exactly.
People make what they relationship
Right.
But I think it solidifies the commitment, though.
think
It
sometimes
does.
people
It
do.
solidifies a commitment.
Depends
It
how
does.
you see it.
Yeah.
And respectfully, I disagree with that because depends how you see how two people, if they really commit. Is culturally woman, they make her marry men that she doesn't want to marry. Is that means that she commit to that? No, she didn't.
Right.
They force
Right.
her to
Oh, I
get
see what you
married.
mean.
You know what I'm saying?
I see what you mean.
Sometimes men love woman.
Or
He's not ready to marry.
right, or
And
they
you do
get pregnant.
because for her,
they get pregnant
they
and
get
marry.
pregnant or they get
Just
married
because-
for wrong reason
Right.
because and especially in religion too.
But it still doesn't mitigate the fact that this is a commitment, a binding commitment
A
between
binding
two
contract.
people, It is
It's a
a commitment
contract.
between
It's-
two
of
people,
course.
whether it was because of a child was born. I mean, it's still a commitment that those two people made to each other.
Yeah.
Right.
But which one you prefer? This is depend. I want people from the heart.
Me too.
They make
I want a
commitment
healthy
to
commitment.
me, not in the paper. The paper.
Right.
At the end of the day, when you get divorced, is hard. You.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
and
It's
that's
not-
my thing is
Right.
divorce
Healthy
is
commitment.
too easy.
Right.
Divorce is way too easy. Marriage is hard and it's hard work. I
But it's
mean,
now is a switch.
What do you mean
Now,
switch?
like when I say divorce is very hard because emotion, you're going through emotionally,
Financially,
mentally,
it's devastating.
Oh, yeah.
the struggle.
Yeah.
Then when you're in the marriage, it's still a struggle.
Right.
marriage
See,
is hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
marriage is
So
hard.
it's still a struggle. So to me, divorce should be never be hard. My experience.
Right.
It's not working. Just let something go on with your life. But when you're building something foundation, it
Right.
has to be worked.
Right.
You see, people they don't work the foundation.
And
Yeah.
I think that's the issue that we have.
Yeah.
Right.
Is that it's not built off of love, commitment, communication. I mean,
Right.
and that's got to be consistent.
Yes.
Right.
You could be married to someone 20 years,
And
and,
not
if
be in love with
communication
Yeah.
ceases at that point,
Yeah.
That's right.
that marriage ain't gonna last
Right.
long.
That's what's
Right.
happening in our
And
society
it
now.
is, yes, and it's
Because
continuous.
that's the reason people.
Yeah.
And now I heard that one of my cousins, she said every Sunday is wedding, and back home every Monday's divorce.
Wow.
You see?
Wow.
So you
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
so
And that's why when I was saying divorce is easy, I'm saying it's too easy to get a divorce. It's too easy. I mean, when you
And
think
a lot
about
of
when
it
you
is
get married.
communication. It's the lack of communication,
Right.
or I'm not going to change. Well, this is me. I've done this. I've done that.
now we
They
And that's-
forgot each other.
And that's why
So-
vetting is so important.
Yes.
Like,
It is.
I believe in love at first sight. I'm a romantic. I get it. But vetting that individual, I think Tyler Perry says you need to see somebody go through all 4 seasons of life to really see who you
Yeah.
have.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
important. It's
Yes,
really important.
what's your triggers?
Yeah.
But what's the difference between love and respect?
Yeah.
Because some people can fall in and out of love,
Right.
but the respect part.
I think
What do
if
you
you
think the
love
difference
somebody, respect will come with it. You
It
can
make
respect
it
somebody
more-
that you don't love, because I command respect. You're in my space, you will respect me, or it's going to be a complete disconnect.
Okay.
But when you love somebody truly, authentically, unconditionally, you automatically respect.
You're gonna
yeah,
respect
love.
them.
I think it's
Yeah.
just universal. Love should be natural. It's not something that you have
Forced.
to force. You don't sit
Right.
there. Let me think about who I'm gonna love.
Right.
Isn't-
Right.
No.
And
it's-
I think that's where that expecting that perfect
yeah.
date, that perfect man, the perfect when
Woman,
you go at
right.
that aspect, you're not gonna find it.
Yeah, and there's a
Be
difference
realistic.
between standards and preferences.
Yes.
We're not saying change your standards, and if you're not equally yoked, morally aligned, if your integrity doesn't match, we're not talking about,
Changing
compromise that. But preferences, I'm 5'4". I don't care if you 5'5", 5'6", or 6'1". I know, the word on the street is that we like men 6 feet and over. But at the end of the day, somebody that don't play about me, hell, he could be a midget. I'm good.
Yeah.
But
And that's where it comes. I think that's
Yeah.
an important key, Naomi, is that when you're out there and you're on the dating scene, and do you got a lot of restrictions on what you're looking for?
Right.
Are you looking for a 6 foot Hispanic guy with no kids, never been married? That'd be kind of hard to find. Not saying that they're all married or they're
Right.
all short or whatever.
But
It's
yeah,
just
that-
an example. But you're putting yourself in a
smaller dating pool.
smaller dating pool.
Right. Right.
it's also if you give reason to love someone, you will have 100 reasons to not love them. That's the reason I say, because love is universal. If
Right.
like I was one recently 4 months ago, and one lady, she said, "You're too young to say never. Don't say ever get married again."
Right. Yeah.
She really told me that. Guess what?
Right.
I went back. I started writing my future.
Oh.
I said, no, I have to go back
Yeah.
because I was honest with myself.
Right.
Because
As you should be.
Yeah,
As you should
I
be.
was really honest with myself. I said, you know what? Yeah, but that I will not go back and look and not to.
But there'd be certain things that you would definitely look at.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, and then, based on faith-based too, because, with me, I believe the Bible says a man that findeth a wife. But
That part.
like I teach my daughter, you have to
That
be
part.
wife material.
Right.
So wife material means you got to know what it is. It ain't always cooking in the kitchen and stuff, but what is wife material?
What is wife material?
So
I think men want to know that too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So to me, as I teach them about dating, things you're looking for.
Right.
What are you bringing to the table then? Shoot, if all you can do is that you can lay on your back, they can get that anywhere. You got to bring more to the table than just that, right?
Yeah.
What
And
is
it's
the
gotta
end of
be
that
balanced.
when
Right.
the world has
Right.
beaten him up when he come home?
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
more to it
Yes.
because he's dealing with. I still got to take care of my family.
Absolutely.
So no, I tell him abuse. What's his triggers? What makes him mad? If he's
Right.
controlling now,
Yeah.
it ain't changing.
It's not changing.
And how does he handle disappointment?
That's
I mean,
right.
does he bounce back, or is he in a fetal position? Like, and there's nothing wrong with that, but just be mindful of that.
Yeah. Well, one of our viewers here are talking about temptation.
Okay.
So when you're talking about temptation and dating, how does that come into play for a person that's out there looking for the
Temptation in terms of, help me with that.
temptation? So if you do see somebody on that first date, Naomi, got goosebumps all over you, and you gonna leave the temptation on the table, or you gonna move forward with what you're feeling because of what you see?
Would I go to jail if I just put them in my trunk? And drive out?
Take it home and get to know better.
Take you home.
Man, you're gonna talk to me.
People that know me know that I'm not shy. But again, I have to balance my personality, which is I'm okay asking for what I want. Closed mouth don't get fed. However, there's an art to that. So I'm okay of saying, hey, I like you. What's up with the second date? But then you run the risk of being, oh wow, you're overwhelming.
Rejection.
You're aggressive. You're not letting you're working outside of your feminine energy. So it's always a balance with that.
And I like that you mentioned that, Naomi, because I do feel when you're dating, it is a double standard when it comes to men dating and women dating. I think there's a double standard that makes it more difficult for women out there on the dating scene.
Right.
Whether it's, you go on multiple dates throughout the week,
With different people.
With different people.
Right.
But with this time and, the time we're living in, people will assume that you potentially slept with all of them.
Right.
Yeah, that's not-
That's why I say
And
define
that's okay.
dating.
Yeah.
Dating means different things to different people. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference? I heard that friend with benefit and dating. What is the difference?
I don't subscribe to
you
friends
are
with
not-
benefits
You are
foolishness.
not dating if you got friends with
Yeah, I
benefits.
mean-
What that
I'm
mean?
not.
What's the?
It means you guys.
That's foolishness.
She
You-
got
you
him
guys-
out of the trunk and took him in the house.
Oh,
That's what.
No, I don't
And there's no
subscribe to
other
that
commitments.
foolishness. Yeah,
There's
I
no
don't.
other
Yeah.
commitments.
Yeah.
So it's funny
Yeah.
that there's a movie actually called Friends with Benefits. It's got Justin Timberlake
I
in
like-
it.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that actually ended up in a
Together.
relationship
Yeah.
because they got to know each other. So is that potential to happen if you start with Friends with Benefits?
Yeah, because like people, we ignore the emotion part. Like you
another
really
question.
like if you start liking people.
Yeah.
If you start liking people,
Right.
like we are human being. We have
Right. Right.
So they said no emotion. What that's supposed to mean?
Yeah.
What that's supposed to mean when they say, oh,
it's
just this is
convenience.
a friend
No.
and no emotion attachment. Like what that's supposed to mean?
It's convenience. It's really convenience. They're manipulating the situation, and it's just convenience because that's not natural.
Yeah, like
That's not the natural order of things.
No.
But it's convenient. They don't have to make a commitment. They still have access to you when or if they choose.
So what
to hit
about
you
women?
up.
You can have access to
Yeah.
So it goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
That goes back to your boundaries.
I have some friends that are women that are savage too, and they get the good news. They get the good news, pop up with coffee, bringing them flowers, opening the doors, and they just treat them like a second-class citizen. So yes, it does go both ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, but dating over 50, do you even investigate? Is he married? Is he divorced? Is he a psycho? What do you find out? Because I know a lot of the younger girls that I talk to, they actually be doing checks on these people, make sure who they know if 50 is at the same thing. Because if he's married,
that's a lot of energy.
I don't care if he said he's separated. He's still married.
Right.
Why are you tying your energy up with somebody else's husband?
That's not available to you.
He's not available.
Right.
Because if he fall over that day, the wife got the benefits, right?
Right. Christmas morning, he's finna be to the house.
Sit right on that front row, shed all the tears you want.
And that is something.
I love you. You keep it 100, baby.
But to me, I think
get your benefits right up.
To keep it fair for all our women out there and our fellow sisters, if a man is married, he is hands off.
Yeah,
that's right.
Hands
God
off.
is not going to send you somebody else's husband.
Yeah, don't
it's
be
just
responsible
shake,
for the end of a marriage. Let you know if that's where
Yes.
that marriage is going, let it go that way on
That's
its
that
own.
full
On its
promise.
own.
Don't
Not-
interject yourself in
Because
someone
if
else's.
he did it to her,
Yeah.
you
He would
can
do
expect
to
what
that
to
to you.
do to you.
Yes.
You know.
He's just going to promote you in
Yes.
that position, but then your side piece position is open.
It's
so be
so
mindful.
women, they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's sad as women. We really like.
That's where that
they want,
self-esteem and confidence
They
pieces
want
come from.
what she have. It just is sad that we
Right.
have to get to that point to feel like you have to have men that already have wife, and when you can get your own.
And I think that's why they act the fool, because there are some women that's going to entertain
can
them,
do that.
and they married right here in this town.
Yep.
But if we shut it down and
But
we
as
just
a
had self-respect,
sisterhood-
Yes.
absolutely. If we could shut
Hands
that
off.
completely
It's
down,
off.
Yeah.
Married
Yeah.
man is off.
yeah,
Yes.
thank
Like
yeah.
you can slap
Because
him
come
if he
after
come to
mine.
you.
Yeah.
You don't play.
Come after mine.
You don't play. And
I do not
you,
play.
You have, and you know how to operate a gun.
Yeah. See, so me and Johnny is so committed. We got tattoos
Exactly.
for our
Okay.
wedding ring. Because
I
if
love
he
it.
messes up, guess what? That finger's coming with me.
And you mean that with your whole heart.
And
you
I
just said
mean
it two or
that.
three.
Told me that.
And he knows it.
Boy, have mercy.
But that's that communication.
Right.
I love
Gotta
it.
let him know.
I like that.
Yep. Yep. Gotta let him know where you stand, right?
Yep, let him know
Don't
where
be
you
playing.
stand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's good. But I think if you in the dating game, you know, I still say you can't be dating with a bunch of women.
Yeah.
Noted. I wrote that down.
That's a good one,
Cannot
Diana.
be-
To Kenya,
it's okay
Tiffany,
to go out to the movies
Gwen,
and stuff, but if you
we
start
got to
date,
separate. Cause
you can't date with a whole lot of single women.
Yeah.
okay.
You know, because it really
Noted.
is, it's hard enough for a man to come up to a woman by themselves.
When you see 5 and 6 women sitting there.
The chances of him coming up to 5, 4, 2, maybe even 3 women.
Yeah.
Okay, which one I'm supposed to talk to?
Yeah, and maybe I was looking at him and he approached the one that wasn't interested, because this actually happened a couple of weeks ago.
yeah.
Then he gonna look at me, well, I'm feeling some type of way. No, I wasn't your first choice, so
Yeah.
I'm good. Go, how that work for you? I'm real good. I'm good.
So I love the fact that Diana mentioned that, because that's a great.
Yeah, that is a.
Because I
yeah,
think
I'm gonna incorporate that.
if I was on a dating scene, I think I would grab my girlfriend to go out with me. Or
we do that. We do that. a
We
lot.
do that. I mean,
Yeah.
heck, we go to the bathroom together when we're out.
Yeah.
You know.
And we talk about everything. Maybe they not.
Yeah.
Maybe they scared we gonna talk about them or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But that
You
might
know,
be a good one. Try
okay.
going out by yourself. Go to the
Okay.
movies by yourself, and maybe there's someone sitting on the roll in front of you by himself. Yeah.
Okay.
Check that finger though.
I just approached them.
And also, don't forget people that's around you. You're looking too
Right.
far. Maybe
Yeah.
it's not too far.
Okay.
Yeah, but I
She's
really,
right enough.
but I would really love to hear from our audience.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Where are the single men at? Where are they hanging out at? You know, when you think of women over 50, obviously we're not in the clubs anymore.
Right.
You know, so where can a woman
Well, there need to
over
be
50
day parties if we are in the club.
Oh,
It's over.
We should do that.
Yeah, day parties.
Day party. Actually, we used to do that back home. I will tell you guys more about it. No, it's day party.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
even, what's that, the senior center?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They got
Absolutely.
activities that go on throughout the day.
Maybe you know. I mean,
That actually is a great idea. Because when you're over 50, 60, you want to sleep early, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By
Yeah.
10 o'clock, you have your beer or whatever you're doing, and popcorn or I don't know what else you're doing.
killing me.
Go to bed.
We'll find
So
something.
we're gonna find some.
8:30 we in the bed.
Listen, we're gonna find solution.
Leave your comments on where all the single men are. Would love to do that. But this is
was
the end
good.
of our show. Thank you, Naomi, for
Thank
coming
you.
on
This has
board.
been a delight. Absolute
We will
delight.
be taking a short summer break, just the month of July to regroup, and season 2 will start in August.
See ya.
See y'all.
See ya.
This was great.
Diana, you
job.
make me sweat. Oh my gosh.
job.
Y'all be
Diana.
At L'Amour Media Versatility, we aim to provide comprehensive solutions to our clients. We have a team of experienced professionals who can help you with every aspect of your media needs. From documentation and marketing to promotion and more, we provide our clients with top-notch quality services. We understand that each client is unique and has specific needs. That's why our team works closely with you to understand your company and event goals and objectives. We are committed to providing the highest quality services in media and strive to exceed our clients' expectations. Our team is passionate about helping you reach your goals and making sure you get the best experience and results. If you're looking for a reliable business to help you with all your media needs, look no further than L'Amour Media Versatility. Contact us today to get started at 252-497-3817 or at www.lamour-photos.com.
Bachelor
But you gotta find a way to get the men to come out. You gotta find a way to get the men to come out. Just like everything else in Jacksonville, the women come out, the men don't come out.
Well, we're gonna do day club.
We're going to do
on this.
Angelo's most eligible bachelors.
Yes! Yes!
Good.
Because the men don't come
Lamar,
out.
we'll get ready.
Okay, we're ready, Lamar.
Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Oh, okay. This is what we do?